That's like that.
Can't jam with some folks, man.
That's like that reel I sent you with that drummer to start. They're like, hey! I mean, they were going hard for 2 beats.
Are you talking about that Indian?
Yeah,
the variety show.
I don't think it was Indian. I think, well, there's been a couple. There's the Indian one with the DJ.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking of. I think
with the girl crying.
Yes, yeah.
Now there's a bunch of dudes sitting around this one dude playing a drum set, and then he just kicks off, and they're like, "Hey!" And then he just stops, and they're like, "Oh, what you doing? I thought I said that to y'all."
It's just a free sample.
That is some drummer crap, though. Like, start getting something going, and as soon as someone gets it, like, I'm done. Like, what was it?
Hey, this wasn't for you.
Yeah.
I was testing the kit, make sure it works. Anyway, hey everybody, welcome to On the Back Hash, where we talk about random TikToks and reels and stuff, because that's what we do.
This ain't about band.
It is though. Don't leave, please don't leave. Name is Sid. Join with me is Chris and Zach and Will. How's everybody doing?
Bandcamp has arrived.
No.
Oh my gosh.
The only, well, I'm not going to say the only. The main benefit
Drink a gallon of milk every morning.
Why are you trying to get these
at
kids?
minimum?
You know, that's what we should have done. We should have done a Bandcamp survival guide video. Not to say that we can't, but
I mean, let's go for it.
I mean, you got to wear a hoodie to block the sun.
Oh Jesus!
Yes,
you gotta wear blue jeans and get sunburned.
That very important.
Converse All-Stars for ultimate arch support.
You gotta wear sandals though, with the dogs out.
Cedric does not condone any of the actions made or said by any of the other.
And you gotta wear that same outfit without washing it 10 days in a row.
What is
supposed? It's luck.
You know, kids do listen to this podcast,
and on
particularly
a water break,
mine.
On a water break, instead of going under the tent, you just lay on the pavement.
It's the best feeling ever.
Yeah,
it warms your back.
All of that,
and then you can roll over like a rotisserie chicken.
Don't bring water. Bring a 12-pack of Coke.
A 2-liter of Mountain Dew.
Not chilled though, just straight from like the convenience store.
And make it
water
Dr.
makes
K.
it worse.
Yeah, and if you can eat the greasiest sandwich you possibly can,
McDonald's.
Yeah.
Actually, Wendy's chili is really good.
Oh, that's
spicy with spicy nuggets in
man,
there.
It's going to sit in your stomach. It's going to keep your abs tight. It's
yeah.
I better take this advice. All I'm saying.
Oh man.
You know,
survival of the
I can't with y'all. Because somebody gonna try it. I'm gonna let you know. Somebody gonna do it, and better not be one of my kids.
Also encourage your boyfriends and girlfriends, if they're not in band, to join band this year, because that really helps.
Oh
god. See, it wouldn't be funny.
I want to put a disclaimer.
Literally happened before.
Exactly.
Everything that's been said has literally happened before.
Yeah,
that's what's terrible about this.
Yep. Bring an extra pair of dry socks. Because your feet will sweat. And it's not pretty. I'm sure we all got a Bandcamp horror story that we could tell.
I don't know. The girl that I always sat next to in the trumpet section would take her shoes off and wear these sandals during sectionals and run us out of the room. And then she also wore the same pair of tennis shoes all 4 years during rehearsals.
Ratchet.
The same pair. The whole season.
When we're in Boston,
audacity.
Let me just tell you, when we're in Boston, we were walking. It's reminiscent of like 20 years ago. It's bad.
If you're wondering.
She's talking about my wife, if y'all didn't know.
Myself and Chris's wife were first and second chair trumpet players.
Nicole, if you're watching this, I didn't tell them to say that thing.
I'll bring it in here.
Isn't that? She knows the source.
She knows, and you know, but she didn't want the world to know.
It's fine. It's fine.
But seriously, y'all, if we do have any band campers that are listening, or if you're teaching, these rules apply to you too. Get hydrated. You know,
Why do you think I
drink.
had this big old thing of water right here? This is like
Yeah.
number 4 for me today.
I've been knocking these out, filling them up with water. Been trying to take a few of them a day. So,
Oh, is it my turn?
yeah, sure. Right on.
Yes.
It even says boba on it.
Mm.
Bubba.
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 Bubba Jew.
But
I love it.
yeah, take care of yourself, guys. And here's the cool thing about, we kid about all that stuff, but like the martial arts, as far as health concerns and safety and stuff like that, has made some strides over the last few years. And there's a couple of different resources that you can reach out to. They got the Marching Health Instagram.
That guy's awesome.
Yeah, that page is pretty cool. They're like showing up to shows and like giving massages to staff and directors and stuff. That's pretty cool. And giving out good tips on shoes and stretches and.
Because look, man, it ain't getting. It's real out here because the earth is changing, y'all. Really, we want to act like it ain't or not because it's hot.
Yep.
And some shows on the West Coast has already been out because it's hot. And so it's really not a game. So
what's hot, and we've become a more sedentary society too, and stuff like that. So while we, back probably when we were in school, we played outside. Like
exactly,
we went outside, we balled, we played hide go seek, we did whatever we needed to do outside and all that stuff. Kids don't do that.
Street lights came on, you got your butt home.
Like that stuff's for real though.
Kids just don't do that as much anymore. And I'm not saying that's a good or a bad thing. Heck, if I had what they had at their age, I probably wouldn't have either. I sit in the house now, but I need to get out and start walking just so I'm ready for Kent. But taking care of yourself, just getting outside, walking a little bit, and we might, this week.
Disc golf is a great activity to go outside and enjoy and stay in. That's how I acclimate to the heat.
I might take the kids. You may go outside and just walk a mile.
Yep.
Let's take a few laps around just so we're used to being outside too. Even though we're just a front ensemble, standing in the heat is just as bad as moving around in it too.
They used to tell us in drum corps. I don't know if they do now, but they used to tell us to refrain from trying to go inside buildings so much because of stuff like that. Like you need your body to be used to the heat and stuff like that. They don't want you to just be out and find shade, get by the truck or underneath some kind of pavilion somewhere around the school building or wherever you're located. But when you go in and out of that heat in the cool air or AC or any stuff, like you can get sick, but it's not good on because you're not adapting to it. So when you're in rehearsals and stuff, you're going to be panting a lot. You're going to wonder why you're always tired because you're not used to a whole lot of stuff, man. This stuff it's a science to a lot of this.
Yeah. So take care of yourself. Try to push, but don't push too hard. If you know your body, if you know you can, don't. Like I've had some of those kids too where they were like, I'm okay. It was like your left arm is hanging off your body. Like I need you to sit down. Like you can't. Your eyeball is.
You
out of
are
the
so pale. You're transparent. You need to go sit.
Please sit down.
You are clear.
So your best ability is availability. So do whatever you can to be there because especially band. The ultimate team sport. It's like if you ain't there, and that's a pain in the butt for everybody around you. So if what you can control. And so if you can, be healthy and be there, that's going to help out a whole bunch of people. Get you a hat, get a nice hat.
I gotta find my bucket hat.
Yeah, I gotta either
because there's lots of companies and a lot of people really doing small things to help that are huge in the activity. I mean, you got, if I hadn't said anything, I'd probably remember the name, but they're, the company that are doing earplugs for like percussionists and even horn players.
Erasers.
That's a thing. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, it's important, man. Don't try to be Superman or be a hero.
And I guess while we're on this kick, enjoy it. Yes, it's hard work. Yes, it sucks. Band camp's the worst part.
Don't nobody like it.
It's the worst part. Once you get through it, the rest of it's cake. The majority of your scene, I did the math, because I always like to talk to my percussion about why band camp's such important, not just for marching band, but like just for your musical journey. They're going to get over the next 2 weeks or next 3 weeks for us 115 hours of instruction. That's more than a semester's worth of classroom time. You can get so much better in band camp if you use your time wisely and get better. So, take it all in. It's one of the few times with the sectionals and the band staff that you get one-on-one attention with your instrument. And, so take advantage of it. You can learn a whole lot in band camp, a whole lot, just to get better at your instrument and just be in better shape. So, yeah, facts. So.
All right, and that was this week's special Bandcamp edition episode.
It's needed. So yes, all right. We just finished. Was it week 3? Yeah, week 3. All right, it's fun already. Goddamn.
It is kind of rolling.
Listen, man. Once it seemed like it took forever to get here.
There's only less than
now
a month left.
Yeah. We'll be in India in 3 weeks.
That's crazy. I ain't think about that. Jeez. That means
we'll be in 3
started,
So we're gonna go ahead and put this in your ear now. If you're gonna be in Indy, and we're gonna be in Indy, holler at us. We'll be there. We'll probably get there Friday evening. See if we can talk to our boss and let us go. But now we'll be there. Yeah, we'll be there. Listen, I could leave and they wouldn't know. They don't care. They wouldn't ask me. There's been many days where
It'd be that one day and someone's calling to your room.
Well, here's the thing.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to come down in your room on Friday just because you said that. That's what
but what time? See, that's the thing, because I teach a class at the hospital, too.
I'm sitting there. I got nothing to do the first 3 days. I'm just going to sit there. If y'all didn't know, I have a job in the same building as Sid does now. So I'll just sit there and chill.
Yeah. That's what I'll do. Come on, I ain't doing that. We just talking the first week anyway.
Yeah.
Just be in a tuba case looking like this.
Listen, I will tell him
this wide.
Cedric.
I will tell him like I tell anybody that comes in my room. The first time you come in, you get to visit. The next time, I'm putting you to work.
Oh,
so
them's facts.
Yeah, I'll just walk in. I'll just rip a double B real quick. I'll walk out. That's what I do. Who was that?
That's your curriculum coordinator.
Remember that.
And one of the best trombone players to come through Warren East.
Bam!
So yeah, where was I going with that? Oh yeah, anyway. Tangent. See, I'm already in teacher mode. I just get to talking and stuff happens.
Yeah.
Anyway, hit us up.
Meet up with you in India.
Yeah. And if it's enough, I'm down to maybe grab, because we always eat lunch Saturday morning or Saturday sometime. Yeah, we eat. We gonna eat. So if you want to have a meal with us, that'd be cool. I'll be down with that.
Just not at the Steak and Shake.
No, we're not going to Steak and Shake.
Can't nobody get into the Steak and Shake that weekend.
No.
Listen, I ain't down on Steak and Shake because I like Steak and Shake, but I've got a little bit more than Steak and Shake money. I can on that weekend. No, I'm not saying
St. Elmo's money.
I'm not saying
you heard it.
All right.
You heard it.
We're going to St. Elmo's.
Let me set up.
Here we go.
But come say hi. We'll kick it. We'll try to let you know socials, where we're at, where we're going to be at Sound Sport during the day, or where we're going, when we're getting to the stadium and all that good stuff. If you're that interested, I'm not saying people are just wanting to know where we all are at the time, but if you want to kick it, and then if you see us, say hi. We're people. We're just people. We ain't famous.
Just turn the camera on and talk. That's
you
can tell we're already 15 minutes in. We haven't said a dang thing.
No. But we've had people come up to us, and it's been cool. I know you guys saw people in Murfreesboro last year.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Yeah, we met Mama DCI.
Mama DCI.
Yeah, so I still need to do that. Anyway, and then me and Chris met some folks last year at Worlds, and then I've met somebody at WGI. So Will is Will. Everybody knows him anyway.
We'll be knowing people that I'm like, how do you even know this guy?
Well, we were in the comments on Instagram on this post from so and then we started talking, and now I'm on their YouTube channel playing this snare solo, and then I rewrote their aux book for their indoor show, and programmed their
it wouldn't be
mallet station.
We're at Perk heads would know this, and maybe if you're into the social media world of percussion, you would know this too. We were sitting at Sound Sport one year, and we're sitting there and like, "Hey man, that's Harvey and Ralph Nader." You're like, "Oh," he's like, "Hey man, what's up? Hey, what's up?" I'm like, "How does that?" He just. And then they dapped me up just because I was with him. Hey man, what's up, dog? I was like, yeah, man, y'all okay?
Yeah,
you know everybody. We've been on the elevator with Dennis DeLucia.
We have. That was awesome.
It counts.
That was really cool. So yeah, just random stuff, man.
Oh, there was that one year we were in the lot and like we all looked over and Skojo was right there.
Yes. Yeah,
we were like, I got a picture with him.
Yeah, you should have.
Went up. Oh, you did. You did get a picture.
Wasn't that the same time that BD like messed up? Yeah, like come in there and, like start off, tap off again.
I didn't care. I want my picture.
No.
Yeah. But yeah, we was just sitting there watching, and then we just looked, like literally looked, like, Skojo, shouldn't you be up there with
just chilling back with us? I was like, since you back here,
hey, yo, let me get this. So, I got a picture with Brent Crocker.
Oh, yes,
I was like, I got you.
I wanted to.
I was like, I got you.
Yeah.
So it's cool. So yeah, man, Patrick Works is awesome. It's awesome. So anyway, you at Works, holler at us. I don't know. Are y'all going to Murfreesboro?
Yeah.
You are?
Mm-hmm.
You already got tickets? Are you going with Logan? Is Logan going? Is that right?
Yeah.
Huh. I don't know if I want to go. I want to go, but then I don't because I don't want to.
I feel like you say that every year.
I do.
You got to ponder it at least.
Like, do I want to go to a drum corps? Yes. Do I want to go to that particular one? Show at their camp and drive an hour and a half and watch?
Good thing for me is that we will not be there.
Oh, like Amy.
We have professional development that day.
Ew.
Yeah, but it's during the day.
Yeah, we won't be at camp.
Oh, I'll be at... No, I won't. Wait a minute. I gotta figure out which day I'm missing. Anyway. One of them 3 days I'm not gonna be there. Is that the second day?
Yeah.
That's the day I'm thinking about not going. I already got 2 days.
Oh, he's good. Say a word.
Not 2 days.
Oh, never mind.
So anyway, cool. All right, drum corps. Let's start.
Let's do it.
Stuff happens. All right. So we just finished.
We're here.
Listen, it's a thing. It's a thing. So the third week just happened, and kind of like I said last week, the picture. While the picture is clear, it's not like it's like we're not watching it in 4K. It's kind of like blocky.
480p.
480p. You have tiers, and those tiers are pretty definite. And now we're about to see some battles kind of going on. So everybody's out now. Everybody has performed at least one scored show. And it's kind of looking like it's going to be a fun season with lots of. I think it's going to be one of those from. We don't know what's going to happen.
And I think the different quarters, semis, and finals are all going to be different every single time. I think.
I hope so. That'd be really, really cool. Be really, really cool. So, do we want to kind of, man? How do we want to do? We want to just kind of look at the sort of rankings from bottom to top, or here's what we can do. I'm gonna kind of jump ahead just a little bit. We're gonna let's talk about the neighborhoods that everybody's in, based off the San Antonio regional.
I'm good with that.
And kind of talk about that. And the reason why I'm saying I'm jumping ahead is because I'm taking Zach's job. So Zach, what's our one to watch this week?
Well, unless you're living under a rock, you know that our one to watch for this week is the DCI Southwestern Championship in San Antonio.
Watch party?
That's the plan. Yeah. I think that's the plan.
So
it's gonna be a long one.
It's gonna be a long one.
Long one.
But yeah, I mean, every single world class group will be in attendance. But that'll also include from open class, Guardians, and then I'm not sure what classes these two are in, but Zephyrus and Arsenal.
Zephyrus is sound sport.
Mm-hmm.
I think Arsenal is as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 2 sound sport groups and then 1 open class. And yeah, so it's going to be a good one. Always is, always will be.
So how they seed is they will take the average of either the last 3 scores or like the last score or 2 or something like that. They'll rank them by that number. They'll go, in this case, 1 through 21. And then after that, they will put them in neighborhoods of 3. So the top 3 are in a neighborhood, and the next 3 are in a neighborhood, and the next 3 are in a neighborhood, and so forth and so forth. And then after that, they do a random draw of those 3 cores to figure out the performance order for those regions. Okay. So I think, and the reason why I want to go there is just because I think it's be easier to talk about some of those tiers, and we could combine 2 of those 2 tiers at once.
Mm-hmm.
See with some of these, just the way that it's kind of going. So just kind of going from there. So I think that just be an easy way for us to talk about it and kind of go through it. So, and probably if you guys are okay with it, next week, let's make sure we need to kind of talk about some of these open class groups too, yes. and all age, because
yes.
That's going on. So hopefully we can get some videos of those guys and we can talk about those guys. But those races are pretty cool too. Like some of those scores, I'm like, dang.
I think Bushwhackers and Buccaneers have a video out.
Okay.
I think. Don't quote me on that. But
if anybody did, it'd be those 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised. So for those, we're coming. They're coming. We'll get to them. I promise. So all right. So let's kind of start from the bottom. Looking at Guardians, Genesis, Jersey Surf, and Seattle Cascade. I got to catch Genesis at their last show. Mm-hmm. It is a shame that they're not going to Worlds, but they're going after it. They are. I kind of like the show. I'm kind of upset that they're not going to Worlds because I really like the show, what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. Last 2 years have been good. Cool concept. They've really kind of knocked it out of the park as far as those 2 shows are concerned for me.
And then Jersey Surf did not get to see that show, but they're out. You know what you're going to get from them. Mm-hmm. I am looking forward to seeing it just to see what they do this year, see how fun it is. Their show that first came out scored 63-8. And then you have Seattle Cascades, who have gone out a couple times. The show has some moments in it that's fine, but it's just it feels like they're just trying to still find their identity. I don't know if some of that talent from Washington is going south or going to open class course?
I think I think it's a combination of both. That year off, man, it can hurt. It can hurt you, no matter what you do, indoor, drum corps, man. But that's what it feels like. Because I was like, man, either they're just crazy young, or maybe the staff changed a lot, and I just didn't pay a lot of attention to it. But I'm kind of like you. I like how it starts.
Mm-hmm. I was about to. Well, that's
I actually like how it starts.
Like that, this tier and the tier above this, I feel like all of those groups, they start out really strong. Their first like 4 or 5 minutes are really good, and then after that, it's like the idea gets lost.
Yeah, like they try to do too much.
Yeah, like it's like they have this good concepts, and it's nailing down, and you know that first one's good, and then it's like they kind of meander after that. So I agree with you on that.
I mean, I guess.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say. I guess it's cool. The little whatever I think it's a lighthouse turns into a telescope or something. Mm-hmm. But yeah,
spoiler
man. It's
alert.
just...
Sometimes when you come out trying to kick the door down, you don't leave any room for anything else. Listen, man. Show design and show pacing. It's a challenge, and
it is a young sound too.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's why I kind of mentioned, like, because Columbians, which is an open class corps, they've gone head to head, which is also out of Seattle, not Seattle, but just Washington in general, correct? And they've beaten Seattle Cascades a few times. Like, I think every time they've seen them, I think.
Yeah.
So
I didn't even know, because I remember asking, I was like, are you for real? Because I didn't know Columbians had came out yet. I thought they were going to come like late in the season or something like that. But I went and looked and saw. I was like, yeah, you're right. They've been beating them every show. They pinned.
Yeah. Which begs the question, you know, like I said, is some of that talent that would have normally went to Seattle going to some of these open class scores now?
It could have, because Columbians came out when that Cascades were out. They were still out, right?
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
So that's a good possibility, especially if you're talking about anybody in PNW as far as distance and accessibility. It just makes sense to go there.
But it's a long season. Hopefully they continue to grow. But out of those three, I see Genesis coming out and above Jersey Surf and maybe Seattle. I had to see the Jersey Surf show, but as of right now, I think I would put Jersey Surf probably above Seattle without seeing it. That may be foolish on my part, but
I think that's a safe assumption.
Cool. All right. So your next neighborhood would be Academy, Pacific Crest, and Music City. I'm going to stop there because there is a break after them. There's an intermission after them. So they would not be directly compared to the next neighborhood, which is Spirit, Blue Knights, and Madison. So you got those 6 that are kind of sitting really close to each other. Right now, if you look at the ranking just based off of latest score, and I think all of these scores went out on the 13th. So how about that? Academy 72.35 with Music City 73.1, Pacific Crest 74.05, Scout 74.75, and then you got a little jump with Blue Knight 75.15, and then Spirit 75.25. So
I need the Scouts to steal 5 points from somewhere.
Well, 5 points would
somebody loan them 5 points.
5 points would put them in like 9th.
I need it to happen. Crossman came in and jacked it all up, is what happened. Maybe Spirit too, because they was they've been holding on by a thread. I was like, okay, we might be talking about some. Never mind.
I like that show though.
I still ain't seen it, man.
Which one?
Madison.
I mean, I ain't seen it either.
Did y'all see?
Well, we saw it. We didn't hear.
Yeah, we saw it.
The Drum Corps Without Context had that Scouts guy that's on the platform, And the one second the platform is like scooting his legs across the stage.
As it spins.
Was that the Scouts?
Yes, dude.
Man, I seen that and I was like, man, who the hell is that?
Oh gosh, it's so funny.
I didn't even know that was a Scouts.
Yeah,
see,
Scouts.
when that happened that day, I didn't watch it because once the audio went out, I was pissed. So I was like, forget it. So I didn't know that was them. Yeah. But me just watching the numbers, I've noticed increases. Mm-hmm. So
honestly,
something's good's been going on. I don't know what, but
I think they have the potential to catch Blue Knights. I think I think their show's a little more entertaining.
I agree with that.
There's a lot more to like about the Scout show than there is BK. So, I haven't seen Spirit, but I mean Spirit's only a 10th ahead of Blue Knights, so potentially Scouts could catch Spirit too if that is going to directly apply, you know. But I mean, when you look at Pacific Crest up to Spirit, 1.2 points is not that much.
It's not, and anything can happen in a day.
Especially how the order's going.
Like Music City, I mean, there's a small gap, but they're not too far on the outside of that. Like that, you know.
Because them City, Crossman, Atlanta are the ones, and Scouts are the ones I haven't seen yet. Mm-hmm.
It's going to be interesting. And honestly, out of that draw, Madison's got the best draw.
Mm-hmm. And I was going to say that too. I was like looking at that show lineup. I was like, Scouts. I was like, that's a actually good position for them to go on because usually it hasn't been. So I'm like, that's why I'm like, y'all need to find at least 2 to 3 points somewhere, man. If you can, please.
I mean, Spirit's got a good draw coming after that break too.
They kind of reset everything, yeah.
I want them to go ahead and treat it as if they were going to finals. Just lay everything you got now. Forget trying to add. Just do it all now.
Yeah. It's going to be close. Like I'm interested to see this Music City Pacific Crest matchup. See how that goes. What do you think Academy's missing? What is? Man. It's better than last year. But what is it? Is it? Are they missing? Is it that they're missing something, or is this everybody else have just stepped up their game as well?
Yes,
man, it could be a combination.
I'm about to say, yeah, it's like combo.
Both. You know what I'm saying?
Because I'm gonna be real too. The Scouts still trying to find themselves. There's a lot of groups still trying to find themselves, and sometimes, man, some shows just they're just not meshing. Like it's one of those. It looked good at the time during the drawing board process, but now that it's out. It's one of those ain't no going back kind of deals. It's like now you're just trying to make it through kind of deal.
I think Academy's music is kind of holding them back some too.
Because we talked about another group where it was like the music wasn't fitting or something. Cabbies.
Yeah. Which I think Academy's music, like it fits their show and stuff. I just don't know if it might be too hard, if it's just not arranged in a good way to fit their group or what. But I think that's when I watch it, that's what it's to me is lacking the most.
Because go ahead.
I was just gonna say they're sitting in overall music. They're sitting 18th as well. They're 18 across the board.
You can't do that. Because sometimes arrangements got something to do with it too. Because if I'm not mistaken, aren't mandarins and coats have the same ballot, right?
Blue coats.
Yeah. So
they do,
but it's too.
Personally, I like Coates' arrangement better, but that's a kind of an example. It's like, man, how you arrange something matters.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say, I'm glad you brought that up because I thought about that when I was watching the show the other night. Is how much of it is just the execution from the participants, or how much of it is the arrangement or the design of it? Because I was like you, there were some people that I was listening to, and I was like, I don't know if this arrangement is doing them any favors.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Or trying to help. It's like I'm hearing there's a lot of groups using soloists this year. A lot of groups using a lot of solos. But some of these solos are written so tough that it doesn't allow the kid to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
And it's killing the vibe of the show because
who was it we were talking about in that show? I guess it was last night where it was like, give that kid a rest. It seemed like they had the same person, and it may not have been, but it was the same trumpet player that had solo after solo after solo. I was like, they don't have a break to. There's no way they can sound good because they're playing the full show, and then they're
Well, that's also I think part of their predicament too for them. I think just of what's been going on with them,
Yeah.
But I agree with you that it's. If I had to put a word on a lot of this stuff, it feels very thin this year. Like some of the arrangements just feel thin. Like it's just very not a lot of. I don't know. Like I said, was saying a lot of solos are being used, and we're not getting a lot of ensembleness as we usually do. So.
and it's all about how you do it as well. I mean, you look at Phantom, those two, those solos are hard, but they're achieving
like on a high level.
On a high level, which is why I think they're scoring so well, just because this is like.
Dude, they have my favorite soloist out of everybody.
They're second in music right now.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's crazy, dude. Like,
yeah, Phantom's got my favorite soloist of the season right now.
I mean, that goes back to like we've harped on this ever since we've started this podcast about the content versus achievement. Like, you can have a really hard show, but if it's not being achieved at a good enough level, you're gonna have too much, as Said puts it, lettuce on the table, right? You're just gonna have too much there, and so, I mean, that plays a real big role in it. Like, you got to know your group, and if it's not working,
because you can't,
you got to do it.
Yeah, because you can't, as a staff person, think because you can have the ability to write like that, to be like that, right? But like you said, you got to know your group, and if anything, be okay with writing a little under, see what happens, let the judges score you, because you already know you can write like that. And if the kids are achieving above your composition, whatever, now you can start bumping it up, and then you'll start seeing stuff float up, scores go up, whatever. But I don't know if groups get in their minds like, oh, we got to come out like this, or we got to do this, or I have to write it like this, or maybe the director won't care, however the system works and wherever you're from. But
I mean, I personally have never been in a core room and done this stuff, but I know it happens at the high school level.
Yeah.
People get hard-headed about stuff and don't want to change it. And I mean, it happens. I mean, so if it's happening at that level, it's going to be happening at this level somewhere.
I guarantee it.
So
I guarantee it.
So I think kind of looking at those six, that's maybe your separators. Like, okay, who's designing their show? Who's maximizing what they can get out of the group? And I guess you can say that for everybody, honestly.
I will say
what you should be doing.
Out of those groups, I think Spirit and Madison have the most potential moving forward. I think out of all those, Pacific Crest might be a close third for that. But
I'd agree with that.
I think Blue Knights, like Zach was saying, it's a good show, but I think it's still lacking.
I'm not understanding it.
I'm gonna have to do some research.
The polls, and maybe I missed some. I mean, it's typical.
We need to put out a video like Vanguard did.
Something.
You're seeing more and more groups do it now. Blue Coats dropped one too.
Yeah.
So you're starting to see people do that a little bit more often now too. So that's the thing. So what I think is going to happen out of those 6, 13, and this is ironically between 13 and 18. That's tough. That's hard to call.
Yeah.
I can see any of them. I can see Spear, Blue Knights, or Madison with a good run, and maybe even Pacific.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all of those. And the cool thing about it, all 4 of those shows are different from each other.
Very different.
So it's really going to be a matter of who
brought it that night.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm not even going to put myself out there with that. I just watch it.
That's tough.
Just watch it. That 13 through 16. It's Music City may surprise us.
So we've been saying this for a couple of years now that sure we all talk about the top 5s in your midst, but God dog, bro, those ones that fight to get in.
Yep.
I'm fighting for my life.
Golly.
Then we're going to be some inspired semifinals performances. If there was ever a year for us to go to semis, this might have been the one.
Yeah.
All right. Next tier would have been Troopers, Crossmen, and Colts, but we're going to go ahead and include Blue Stars and the Cavies into that as well.
Okay. Call me crazy.
Okay, crazy.
All right. But I think with their draw, Crossmen. Now, I've not seen the show yet. Mm-hmm. But the way they've been scoring and where they're drawing at San Antonio, we might see some flip-flop in there between them, Troopers, and Colts. I'm just saying.
Zach said, well, here you go.
I didn't say a single syllable.
Exactly. You didn't have to.
Your face said it all.
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it either, so
it might be my favorite show.
All I know is I actually really like Trooper Show.
I do too.
And I've only seen it once. I do want to see it again.
Yeah.
But the first read was enough for me to say, okay, I like this. Like,
oh no, Cedric.
It's all right.
I like it a lot better than last year.
I like it.
I like it a lot better than last year's.
I will say it's not the same. It's not the same thing, but it's almost like because we talked about this the other days. Like, or Zach, I think you mentioned like you're trying to figure out where all 3 of these line up together, and I feel like this show should have been what has transpired the first 3 years. Now, if I'm, because you know me, my critical theories and thinking about stuff goes off the planet. But if I'm looking at this, it looks like the first show was about greed and oil and whatever. So, like, I'm guessing somebody made a deal with the devil to be rich. And then the second movement's like the whole Icar story, like we wanted all of this and we played all of this to get to this point, and now we've flown too close to the sun, and now we're battling the devil to get our life or whatever back. I don't know, but so I think that's my correlation. It could be completely off.
I think they've got the prop from last year out there. It doesn't move or anything like right now, at least. And toward the end of the show this year, everything that took place, like with the characters and stuff, was by the sun. So I'm wondering if the sun is the power needed to defeat the devil or something at the end. Like they had to harness the sun to have the ability to face the devil.
That's probably what the thing is because the sun is blacked out.
Yes.
So whatever lightsaber that the person is holding is the power.
The power. I don't know. I could see how last year and this year exist in the same universe. I'm having trouble picturing where the Ecstasy of Gold show comes into play and how that fits.
I'm glad you remember the name of that show.
Oh, it wasn't called that, but they played that song, so I knew.
Okay. It was like, I'm like, was that the name of it?
It's called Greed or something like that.
Wait,
no,
what show?
The one with the
one
oil
that
rig.
got him to finals.
The oil rig.
Not Vengeance. Shit.
Voracious.
Voracious. Boom. I knew it was a V. I didn't.
Voluptuous. It was voluptuous.
It was Velociraptor.
You had me fooled. You shouldn't say that. I do like the imagery that they use at the end of it. They make the troopers 11, and then it appears to go into twos, and then it goes into the 3 6s. They do some really cool allusion to that. When I watched it, I was like, Will's gonna like this because it's like a movie. Because that's what it seemed. It was laid out like that to me from a musical standpoint. I'm like, okay, I can hear the different scenes. Whereas in last year's show, I was just like, this seems like this one big long
epic
thing piece of music that doesn't change.
The Voracious show was like a movie.
Yes.
See, like I remember more about that show from 2 years ago than I do last year's show.
Same.
So, it's okay. First of all, it's good. They're playing it well. I can see why a lot of people are just digging it and really liking it. They do a lot of things really, really well. And they play a lot of nods to a lot of traditions of the Corps.
So the crowd was taking it last night.
Yeah, no, the crowd was over on it, and I think they do a really good job of telling the story. I think that's one reason why the crowd was so into it with the acting. I think for me, probably I need another read so I can maybe follow the storyline. Because this is one of those where it's one or two people telling the story from the color guard. And if you're not watching that, which I typically don't because I'm a drill guy, then I'm going to miss the entire story. So I don't know what the story is. Like, I know at the end the devil gets killed with the lightsaber because I saw an Instagram of it. But I don't know if I would have saw that if I hadn't seen that first. I don't know. Phantom going from 08
Phantom
with the Spartacus.
That's the first thing I thought of when the way he stabbed him.
Yeah, it made you watch that particular thing. Like I was just like, oh, dude, dead, and wow, so I'm gonna need another read, just to see how I felt. So I appreciate it, but we'll see. For me, that's a me thing. I know y'all like it. Y'all can like it. See, and then so Crossman hadn't seen it yet, but I'm looking forward to seeing it, and it seems to be doing fairly well. 2 points ahead of Spirit, so there's something there with that. And then you have Coats and Blue Stars and Cavies. They've been battling out. Now, Cavies separated themselves a little bit at that last show, but the show before that, they were within 0.05.
They were all they tied.
Yeah,
two of them tied, and I'm adding Blue Stars to this next team.
Cavaliers tied, and then Blue Stars was like right behind.
So those three, if you really want to talk about a battle, you got those three. That's the 8, 9, 10 range.
Yeah,
those three can go either way.
Colts GE's not keeping up with their visual and music,
and I can understand why. Yeah. I can see why. I really can.
And I like the show. I've seen it a couple times. I feel like I will really like it when I see it in person. I feel like there's a lot more to get from it in person than there is from Flow. And that connection aspect to the show. So I'm really excited to see it in person. But if they get that GE figured out, they'll make a.
They're playing, dude.
Yeah, and their visuals.
I'm more proud of that front.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
you start talking about a front, you know somebody's doing something.
Yeah,
that's true.
Well, I mean, if you're talking about percussion, the Colts and Blue Stars have both topped cavies the past two shows. So, in there's rumbles of something happening over there. So, I don't have any definitive details, so I'm not going to go too far into it. But, any type of distraction like that, I mean, you got to think, man. You run these people 6 to 8 weeks, and any kind of dissension rate, and these are kids, so that stuff affects them. They perform like they're 30, 40-year-old people, but man, these guys are 18, 19, 20, 21 year old. So, something happens, it's gonna affect them. So hopefully it doesn't seem to be getting to the core as a whole as it is affecting the percussion section. So I'm interested to see how that turns out. So yeah, those 5, I could see under the big lights of San Antonio Cavies still staying at top, sitting in that 8th spot. Colts and Blue Stars is a coin flip. They're flipping back and forth every week.
Yep.
And then I think Troopers and Crossman are going to be a flip flop too. I think those two will have a nice little battle throughout it. But right now, it looks like Crossman is fairly comfortable, sitting comfortably in a final spot right now. For now. So,
here we go.
Next 2?
Yeah, I would say for now.
Next 2?
They're kind of on an island.
3.
3? You want to?
I put
Okay, well, all right. So here's
so
we're talking about Mandarin. That's what I was saying. So Mandarins and Vanguard are battling. Do you want to add another one? And if so, here's the question: who?
I'm not.
Never mind.
Because
as of right now, there's too big of a gap.
Yes, on both
for me to feel like
yes. So your 6-7 matchup that's kind of on an island by themselves, and they've been battling back and forth all season, is Vanguard and Mandarins. Mandarins was catching Vanguard early. They was catching them early, and in the last couple of shows, Vanguard has come back and kind of taken the reins. And that 6 spot sits, that senior 6 as opposed to 7th. I mean, that's going on before intermission or right after.
Yeah. So
that's kind of big and that's kind of huge. What do you think? What do you think the turnaround has been? Has it been that had Vanguard have figured something out, or has Mandarins they came out hot, but now they're kind of settling down to earth? What do you think?
Music. That's what I think. I think
music. You think it's music?
Yeah. I think Mandarin's show it's not bad at all. Like, I'm not saying that one bit, but I just feel like there's not enough juice in it. That's just me. I feel like Vanguard has a harder book.
Yeah. I think I liked Mandarins better last year.
Yeah.
Again, I don't hate the show.
Y'all want a live update real quick?
Oh, no.
Oh, God.
Blue Coat scored a 200.
Close. 88-3-5. This was as of Sunday night of our recording, so they probably scored higher before. Well, I don't know. Well, no, they go out Monday night at last week's show to watch. That it'll be anyway. Yeah, sorry, I just. Wow. Okay, go ahead. You talking about Mandarin's music?
No, I was saying.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, you. I mean, well. I do agree that Vanguard's book is hard. I think all around. And I also kind of feel like they've cleaned more, and a lot of pictures are showing. So, because I think in our little chat somebody said something about the uniforms and being able to see so much dirt, and I think that is maybe a realization to them, like how much they have to get clean, because I think you're seeing those pictures a little bit more clear on in a sense, even though they're still dirty, but it's like if you're getting all of that clean and this whole no prop thing, because I know I sent something to us in one of the other little chats because I didn't realize the idea behind it, but I knew I seen it the first show with the groups with the bags for the color guard.
I didn't even know those were a thing until you sent that, because I've always watched high cam.
Yeah,
and you can't see it on the high cam.
Well, see
at least not in the California stadiums where the camera's on the moon.
Well, the first time I saw it, it was high cam, but it was like a low place in Cali somewhere, whatever. But I seen it because I was like, because usually if it's a group I have not seen yet, I always want to see a high cam first, and then I might do mode cam next. But I did the first time I seen this. I was sitting there watching. I was like, what is on their back? And then immediately as I saw that somebody took a rifle color guard person took something out of it, I was like, that's genius. But then I didn't go anywhere from that. I just let that be, and I was like, okay, I get it, and to coordinate that in the show and and listen to that little audio recording that they gave, and I was like, that makes it that much difficult because everything has to be coordinated. Because how can you just say you get a bag and then you position your color guard through the field? Like everything has to be in a proper spot. So it's like if you got a bag, that means is everybody sharing equipment in each bag? Because like if color guard A has something in there, like her rifle's in there, but then color guard like 3 has their rifle or a saber in that same bag, like how are they coordinating that? You see where I'm going with? Like, because in a different set, that color guard ain't gonna be close to this bag. They gotta be close to a different bag. It's like,
did you see their spreadsheet that they had on that video? Like, I mean, that's crazy.
That's
like,
to go to that level.
Crazy.
And I'm sitting here like, because it makes you wonder. Because then you look at and you talk to like other directors from other schools and places and groups. And it's like, in their minds, you wonder how much is it worth to try to figure something like that out for a show like that. You know what I mean? And it's like,
well, it goes with their concept too. Like, I mean,
it does.
It's so cool to think about. Like, oh well, they carry light stuff, so we're just gonna put a backpack on them. We don't have any props. We don't want to do front sideline and back sideline and all this stuff. Let's just put it on their back.
Because it is
genius, man.
Yeah, because everything is clean, the field's clean, and then out of nowhere it's just flag. And it's like, bro, where do they even get? So I think maybe judges are realizing this, but again, a lot of stuff has cleaned up. Perks cleaned up a lot. They did win last show in drums over BD, and I think their show is just probably more open to new stuff than Mandarins might be.
Yeah.
I think from a content standpoint, I'm going to agree with you, Chris, that the music their show has a much higher ceiling than what Mandarins is doing.
Yeah.
And just what they're trying to portray. Because I saw somebody's like, I'm not getting Vagabond out of this show. I'm just like, one, look at what the show title is, and then look up the definition of the word. They're literally traversing through all of this stuff for only the things that they need.
That's on their Instagram post when they announced their show. It was the definition of what a vagabond was. Like, like it's going to tell you.
So I don't know if he was wanting to see the little boy with the stick bag, and I don't know, but I mean, they basically got that. But I was just like, you can't get no more into the definition, and it makes sense that they use the Kendrick Lamar chart with repeating the words, "I hope you find a peace of mind," because that's what they're doing. They're doing it their way with the minimum amount, and they're going to find their peace. It's like the modern version of Nirvana. Like it is what that show is, except without that end of it. Like this is what normal people. This is how normal people do it. We ain't namaste no more. This is just us. So I think for what it is, they say it don't, but I feel like we're human and we react to other human things. You know, we know how it is. If we're all five sitting together and then somebody gets up and run, what are the other four of us doing?
Right.
We ain't running. So if you're in the audience and people start clapping and hooping and hollering, guess what you're going to do? You're going to start clapping too. So I'm thinking part of Mandarin's success right now, and they're doing their show great. I like it. I don't get that show. I know it's about New Orleans. What story are we telling about New Orleans? Like I'm that's what I'm trying to figure out. And the music is it's all New Orleans music, but the way that it's pieced together, I'm trying to figure it. It jerks me around instead of leads me from place to place. But I think the ceiling is much lower than what Vanguard can actually do with their show. So for me, I think they're getting carried in GE because the crowd really likes the show. They have that in it. They hot take. They're the new Cavies.
I agree with that. I like that take.
Mandarins. Tell me somebody that don't like them.
It's true.
And all it's going to take is for them to hit a show, and they're going to be sitting in the top 4 or 5. It's going to take the right show. But they have that swag. They're playing with house money.
Well, I think, like me personally, I like Mandarins not because they do like when I think the new Cavies, I think there's like stunts and there's gimmicks and there's things like that, and I don't really get that from them. I like them because they're this kind of like underdog story to me. Like they broke in their finals and everybody's like, "Oh yeah, congratulations!" And then it's like, "No, we're going for top 10," and then it's like, "Okay, now we're going for top 8," and now they're like, "We might get 5th," and it's like, yeah, it's fresh blood, it's somebody new, and they're it's like you said that they're playing with house money because regardless of where they place, if they look back 5 years ago, it's significantly higher and more successful than it was then.
But see, that's the thing. I think that's what's funny about it because look how fast they did it.
Exactly.
Well, it was sudden. It was this, and then all of a sudden it's
like big.
You know, because I mean they've been around for a while. But they were that 18, 19, 20 core that we were always. You know, and I think
it took some groups to have some down years for them to get through the door. But once they got in there, they ain't looked back since.
It took that, but if you're familiar with the Mandarins, the Sacramento Mandarins, you would know that they were based off of kind of like the Troopers and the Western stuff and the Pioneers and the Irish stuff. They were based off of the Mandarin culture.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of their shows was based around that. Well, you have that shift in design philosophy. You start doing the things that you want to do, and then you get other people involved. Because you got to think about it.
Truer statement. Because
you said it.
Like I need that to be coined because the shift in whatever you just said, the shift in design from that original. I need Scouts to do it. Because at some point, Colombians and Cascades, because you think about it, all this stuff is here. It's they're trying to incorporate something that's got to do with the West and the North and mountains and all this. Like at some point, it can get you there, but you're gonna have to do something different from that. We're not trying to tell you take your identity away or whatever, but that was probably the best way I've ever heard it be said was like shift the whole like idea of how you design and stuff.
I think that's kind of the limbo situation that Cavaliers are in right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they want to hold on to that tradition, but they want to. I need a minute to like think about how I want to word it.
But that's close though, and if it's not exactly what you want, it's good because I hadn't been able to word it any closer than that.
Yeah,
and it just boils down to if you're a budding drum corps wannabe, do you want to march a show that you know is going to be centered around the Asian culture, or do you want to march another show that could be more exciting? And when they shifted their philosophy on design, people's like, "Oh, that's a cool show. I like that. Let me go there." It's probably a little bit cheaper than marching Vanguard or Blue Devils, you know, and you can get just as high quality experience from there, and have a really good time. And people are seeing that, and I think that's one reason why you're kind of seeing the playing field level a little bit in California with Mandarins and Vanguard, because some of those cats used to be Mandarins was like a feeder, unofficial, to Vanguard and Blue Devils, but now those cats are going to Mandarins kind of like the Colts. They're going there and they're staying now. So when you got cats that want to be in Mandarin for life, you can build on that.
Consistency. If we ain't never preached anything, that's one thing we preach: consistency. That's why BD is the way they at.
So I mean, they're doing all the right things. They're doing all right, and this is a really good show, and they're playing it really, really well. I just wonder if they got too hot too quick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
100%.
This year, this particular year, like not in the overall organization. I just think they got too hot. I'm wondering if they got too hot too quick. Because you look at that show, and sometimes you can look at the show and you're like, oh, they can change this, or this could be changed. Or,
you're asking yourself, what more can they put into this?
Yeah, at this point already? Because Vanguard, that's an open palette.
Now let me tell you, if Mandarins start throwing beignets into the crowd, I'm never leaving.
Somebody's getting knocked out.
Yeah, I'm gonna get on staff somehow in that case. So that is a really good battle to watch, and it's going to continue to be. It's going to be interesting to see how that falls and goes on. They go on back to back, so it's no more. Which leads us, ain't no more head. Well, ain't no more Vanguard going on first, and then 3 hours later, here's the Mandarins.
I think that's gonna benefit Vanguard.
Yeah,
I think not getting set in where people.
Well, it's probably going to benefit some other folks too.
Yeah, I think that's going to uncap a lot of stuff.
And we can talk about that as we talk about this next, the top five. So your top fives right now, you got Phantom Regiment fifth. According to numbers, raw numbers. Carolina Crown fourth. Blue Devils third, Boston second, Blue Coats first. Phantom is on fire.
Yes,
they are on fire. Can they keep it up for 3 more weeks?
I needed somebody there.
I think at this moment right now,
somebody there, please.
I think they can catch Crown.
Shake all this up.
I didn't have my button ready.
I'm just saying, I think it might happen.
Shake it all up.
Now, I gotta say, visual package and GE right now, if you're looking at like the rankings, they're sitting fifth in both of those as well, and guard as well. So they got to make a move somewhere in those areas. They're not going to beat Crown and Brass. Like, it ain't gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. So you're gonna have to jump them somewhere else. And so your visual package is where you're going to do it. And I'm hoping that's what happens. But I don't know. That's good, man.
If they can hang musically,
Yeah.
Because they are a powerhouse, man.
Yeah.
It's just
there's only about 15 seconds to that show that I'm just like, I don't know about that. That's it. Literally 15 seconds.
They fixed everything that we said that they needed fixed from last year's show. Like, we felt like last year, like, direction-wise, like, towards the end, we're like, I'm not sure. Not this year, man. Like, I feel like from top to bottom, it takes you on a journey.
So you got that. And then you got Crown. If we want to talk about, if there's two cores of King of consistency, it's Blue Devils and it's Carolina Crown.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what you're going to get. And
immediately.
It's like, it's like watching an orchestra on the field. It's so dang good.
I'm waiting. Mm-hmm. I'm waiting for. I just find myself sitting here like, okay, when are they going to do it? Like, I don't know what it is. I don't know what I want it to be. I don't know if they even have anything planned. But as I watch this Crown show, I'm like, okay, when are they going to turn it up a little bit? You know, when are they going to add this part? Or when is this big whatever we're supposed to see going to happen? I don't know. I don't even know if it exists, but I want something to happen.
If they're going to, in my opinion, if they're going to continue to go in the show design way that they're going with the storytelling, and they do a phenomenal job of it, and they set the soundtrack beautifully, they're going to have to step up the visual package to go along with the difficult music. They're going to have to go and they're going to have to do some of that. I'm going to need some 0102 cabin. While they're double tongued and the triple. Like, they're going to have to do something. Yeah. They're going to have to do something to wow us.
Like, I was going to say, is it going to have to be a prop visual up, or are you talking about drill? But you said drill anyway, so I was like,
I think it's coming from simultaneous from time. Like, the body works fine, the body works great, but I think
it's like it's too pristine, or
it's almost safe. It's almost kind of like what you feel with BD sometimes is, they could do more.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you want to see what they can do. You want to see it at its full power.
Yep.
Don't hold back. Go Super Saiyan 7. Like,
and that's what I feel like. It's like I'm waiting for Crown to go, okay, here's what we've got. We're gonna, and it may happen at San Antonio. Who knows? It may not happen until Allentown. It may not happen until semifinals.
Yeah.
But
I think find myself going, wish.
Okay, when is that extra gonna happen? You know?
Well, there's nothing like playing in a dome. So, some of that stuff I'm sure that they're doing is going to hit a little bit different. The problem is it's going to hit different for everybody.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's going to hit different for everybody. I want E equals MC squared plus fanfare of the common man. I want just break the kids. Just, yeah. I just want to see what you can actually do. Like, bring back some 3D drill. Like, what do we got? A flame? Make a flame happen with the drill on the.
Oh, that's dope.
Do something. Like, but I just think it's what it's like. I think just because of how the show designs and concepts, it just caps the creativity that they can do. And so we're talking about Boston now and Blue Coats, where here's this concept. What do you think it's this? Yeah, there's some of this, but it's also some of this and some of this. And did you even think about this? What about this? Like, there's so many different things that they're doing with it. It just leaves it open. And then you got Blue Devils. It's like, we're going to do a show called Romantics and not play one romantic piece in it.
Right?
We're going to go with a completely different.
We're going to talk about the romantic. We're going to talk about the romantic period area. But we're going to play Hal's, merry-go-round and the Pokemon battle theme song.
I am mad.
And so they're using music but not the typical music that you would use to tell the story. They're going to pull. Both Blue Coats are as good at this too. They're going to pull stuff from all over the place to make you either be like, I recognize that. Or be like, ooh, that's nice. What is that? There's so much music that I found from the Blue Coats in the past 10 years.
Yep.
That I'm just like, I never knew this existed. And I think that's the charm that Blue Devils and Bluecoats have. And Boston is just like, I'm going to take the best of all of your worlds, and we're going to do it our way. It's really cool to watch this year. Those top
I feel like three. This is the most wide open it's been in a minute.
Because usually, and after the show in San Antonio, it may be a completely different story. Those scores could come out but I feel like
there just better not be no spread, bro.
That's what I'm afraid of.
But I'm really gonna be mad if it is.
Because usually after San Antonio, we're like, it's official. BD's gonna win, and da-da-da. But I feel like this year the door is open.
It should not be a foregone conclusion.
It can't.
I really don't want it to be, bro.
If you want to put BD high in achievement, fine, great.
But it better not be a 2-point gap, because I will burn the Alamo Dome down to the ground.
It can't be in my mind. It's because all these shows are so good. Like there's no indifferent, and like you can't just sit there and be like, hey, they're head and shoulders above this group here. Like last year, we knew kind of going to San Antonio, BD was kind of riding that little bit of that wave, and then it was, we got that. Last time Bluecoats, when they won it, we knew that was going in there. But like this year, man, like that top four, and you can throw Phantom in there too if you want to, but that top, they're so different. They all do something really well. And they're all like right next to each other on all these other categories, right? So like,
and that's the beauty of the DCI judging system, is because you have to have a well-rounded core. Mm-hmm. You can't, if you want a medal, you basically every group in your core better be top 3 to 5.
And who would have thought at this moment? Now these are raw rankings, right? Crown is beating BD in percussion.
Yeah. And we can talk about that numbers because we were going to mention this. With Vanguard going on first in a lot of the shows out west, you put a number down for them, but you consistently, me and Will talk about this all the time, especially when you have to go on first in a lot of shows and stuff like that. You're consistent. You set the bar, so everybody has to be consistent with you. And what we're seeing is they're having to say, well, how much better is BD to Vanguard?
Because if you're going to put one number down,
yeah,
and you say they're 3 points better, then that's, you can't change your mind and say, if you give Vanguard an 81 and they're the first one out, and you think after you see BD at the end of the show, you think, oh, they're 2 points better.
You have to put
them 2 points better. You can't say, well, BD probably should have an 87, but then you're going to put the second place group, quote unquote, or whatever, at an 81. Like, there's no reason for that.
And listen, Drum Corps judges, their number management is probably some of the best in the world. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they know they are, and they don't. Those gaps mean something, and they know they mean something.
Yep.
So they just ain't going to put a 3-point gap between two groups that ain't there. They just ain't finna do it. And so, people probably looked at them and was like, well, dang, Vanguard, is Blue Devils a 1.5 behind Bluecoats? Probably not. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, though, for Blue just to be obliterating folks, they put a point on Boston.
Bruh. That show is outrageous. That show is outrageous.
So good.
I love it.
So what you're going to get at San Antonio is all these gaps are getting ready to be filled.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's why I'm so adamant about being really pissed if there's just any hardcore spreads in this top 5.
Yeah, it shouldn't be. It really shouldn't be. If it is, I'm going to be really shocked.
It should stay right around 3 points between first and fifth. Honestly, that should be the spread between first and fifth. It should be 3.5, something like that. I think
first through fifth, yeah. But I think the Blues Blue Devils and Blue Coats, they need to be touching.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Somebody blinks.
Noses are right here.
But I need somebody, Boston, to knock Blue Devils to third. I'm sorry, BD. Sorry, not sorry, but yeah. Like, make it happen. Cap.
So
they'll give him a tie for second.
Yeah.
We've
seen it.
Yeah.
We've seen it.
We were there.
And you heard all of Lucas Oil go.
Literally hate all of you.
Like y'all couldn't play rock, paper, scissors or anything to break this up.
But, hey, we're gonna do it again.
Wing eating contest. I mean, like
those two chords, bring it back. That's what they need to do. Hey, bring it back.
Yeah, run it back.
Get the stuff.
Hey,
bring it back. Except this time you got to march it on half the field. You get this half. You get this half. You're going to
everybody perform at the same time. The drum on battle marker through the middle, and then we're just gonna go for it.
I mean, but San Antonio should be really, really, really nice. Really, really nice. So we'll probably do a watch party. We may not do the whole thing. I don't know. Depending on what we got going on. But we'll at least get you most of it. You was about to say something, Zach?
I was yawning.
Oh, okay. It looked like you were about to be like what?
Yeah, anyway. I got band camp in.
Yeah, camp
8 hours.
Yeah.
We can. Yeah. I don't have it in 8 hours, but I have it in about 16.
I have professional development.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oof. Yeah. Well, at least you get paid ish for that.
Yeah.
So let us know in the comments below how you think it's going to shake out. What the surprise course you've got going on to San Antonio? Are you going to join us for the watch party? And all that good gravy. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. You can also listen to us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Make sure you hit the like, comment, and share button, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Tell all your friends to hit the button too.
It's
hit
free.
The notification button. It is free. Hit the notification button too. That way you don't miss the watch party when we do it, because somebody's like, I didn't know y'all were doing this. Well, now you know. So make sure you hit that notification button and all that good stuff. So yeah, this has been a long one, but we've had a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
And we also did a 15-minute promo on Band Camp, so that was
which was very important.
Yes,
but it was. I think it's important. I think today was good. It didn't feel like an hour and a half.
No.
So lots of good discussion. So, fellas, got anything else?
Hydrate
or die.
Do it. Drink the water, or the vitamin water, or the Gatorade, or the whatever.
This episode has been brought to you by Squincher.
Never had it. Probably glad I didn't have it. Anyway, for Chris, Zach, and Will, I ain't going to. So for Chris, Zach, and Will, my name is Ted. It's been another episode of On the Backhash. You guys take care. Have an enjoyable band camp. Enjoy all of the drum corps. And we are
Dut out.
Ouch.
Don't forget your Wendy's chili.
Spicy nugs.
Well, I'm proud of your computer.
And your gallon of milk.
I said my computer didn't die.